Hello, everybody. Welcome back to MoMoVs Bazaar, and this is post-live game analysis. Today, we're jumping straight into a perfect ranked match. And you guys should probably know that from the title, so I don't think I'm actually like spoiling too much. And as you can see here, two Momos. Momoception. Spooky. Three Momos. Ready for three Momos? There's three Momos. But anyways, enough tomfoolery out of the way. We'll rock this for a little bit until it gets annoying. But yeah, I wanted to kind of highlight what happened in this game, I guess. The audio is a little messed up too, but I think it's pretty cool. Like do a live post analysis. I've done this a couple times. Let me know if you like this format. It's very strange, especially for me, because there is commentary down below. But we were looking at the live Momo, the future Momo, the present Momo, and that's the past Momo. Anyways, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about the state of the game as well as analyzing what's going on here. So we start with a enchanted bronze tier item, which is probably the best thing for Nessa at the moment because it has the highest upside of making you super strong early on. Same thing with gold tier skill, but it's a little more risky in my opinion. Usually you find a pretty decent enchanted item. And we're just taking everything that makes us stronger right now. So you saw we took a skill that gave us poison, got to upgrade the catfish, gave it some cooldown, and say go. I'll run the thnx in here because I don't want to steal a haste trigger. I want the turbo catfish to be hasting itself. But as a side note, the thnx is a very good weapon right now thanks to the cooldown changes. You can kind of snowball with it again if you have the right setup. That being said, our main focus right now is getting as many sources of haste, especially ones that can hit the catfish, because it scales up pretty decent, right? Every time a haste trigger hits it, it's what? 4 more poison right now? And that number only goes up when you upgrade it. So the fact Turbo Catfish can haste itself potentially, and then Beach Ball as well. It hastes all the items. Also gotta just... There we go. So yeah, it's super sweet. And then, because of the state of the game, you kind of want to get in. It's always been the meta, but get into the bazaar, get your wins in, and then get out. Gives you your highest chance of winning, right? It just makes sense. But what I'm getting at is the longer fights get, like the longer the days go on, the boards get crazy and crazier, and that's especially with the in particular, like the dually stuff, there's some crazy stuff, don't get me wrong, in that expansion, but the Mac expansion's like kind of nuts. The thing that really stands out is the blank slate. There's a ton of freeze triggers on that, and as soon as that goes off, it goes off super fast too. Your entire board just perma frozen. So that is kind of the state of things. So for now, main game plans we focus on getting strong early, winning early, getting out early, because it does take them a little bit to get online. You'll see there's a match here where I can showcase it. How you take advantage of this meta of sorts. But they've been doing a ton of hot fixes as of late, so usually like a new expansion first drops, it's not like the best idea to like try and climb and figure stuff out because there's gonna be a lot of broken stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. They've been pretty good. But yeah, day 2, pretty good so far. Enough harping on that. Let's get in. Getting some cooldown on the catfish, super nice. And then early regen is super powerful. Day 2, 5 regen. I can't say how amazing that is. Also, we get a fishing rod, another source of haste. As my cat defiles my mic. Look at her. Oh, she's saying hi. She's saying hi. She sees the light. It is bedtime for her soon. I'll be taking a snooze real quick after this. Going against Walter Burn here. But yeah, everything is pretty good. 5 regen. We have more HP than him. Our particular build is pretty good in his. We go around his shielding. But Also to note, we have an early knee brace. That helps a ton. More HP, gives more value to our regen once we start stacking up our HP. And we're trying to run non-playable items or non-activatable items, so that's why knee brace and icicles are really good here. Because you don't want them to steal haste triggers from the catfish itself, because that is our main carry as of right now. But the one glaring downside, of course, you all know, if you take the bronze tier enchanted start or the gold tier skill especially, you'll lack the funds. We'd like to go to Curio, we cannot. Yeah, but let me know down below what your thoughts about the meta is right now. It's definitely interesting time for sure. And we take the Aetherite Eccentric fight. Of course, we're looking for that pass, that day 9 pass, but also the rigged, right? Those are both very good now. This fight didn't get any harder either, so that's good. Still win pretty easily. Yeah, 168 poison stacking up. That's really powerful early on. Really strong. Especially, I think I'm on the hot patch. Ooh, rigged. Yeah, rigged is great. Haste our entire board, more catfish triggers, etc. We're on the patch where they hot fixed something. Yeah, lifesteal no longer cleanses at all, which is quite the dramatic change. I was more for the advocate of not, healing you on the shield, because that's just like kind of weird in how it works in other games. But yeah, make a tough choice. I probably would have picked up Hourglass. I was thinking about it, because, like, it'd be a nice carry, but we already have the catfish in so many sources of haste. It's probably going to be more poison and easier to build around. The catfish, that is. So, we take the shot glass because it's, like, another holster or rig trigger. Yeah, more scaling, more better. That's all I got to say. Going against NLH, who has a pretty decently strong board, but it confuses me. He's got a Shadow Cloak next to the Claw. Like, that's a little awkward. Like, he's hasting it, but he's not scaling up another weapon. He's just scaling that Claw up itself. But this one's pretty close. We actually tie here. Yeah. So yeah, like, he was scaling up the Claw itself with the cloak, but I guess it just barely wasn't good enough. But we do tie, and that's great news for us. Free haste item is pretty much an upgrade at this point. We have, like, all of Nessa's haste items, except for, like, holster and a couple others. And I take the Trebuchet here. Thoughts on Trebuchet? I don't think it's quite an amazing item, but because we have so many sources of haste, it's not bad. I'd say it's even good enough to kind of pivot the board into it. Take advantage of that. Because we already got a decent amount of knee brace value. And we just want to be as strong as possible, right? Going back to that same philosophy of, like, win the fights early. And it's good. So yeah, we ultimately end up selling the items there and say go. One thing I will note, I'm kind of not impressed with myself, but glad I think I played really well. Took my time, thought about stuff. Like, yeah, I played pretty quick, but at the same time, I was able to think out rationally what I should do. But as you can see, we're super strong. 60 damage a pop plus 6 burn isn't bad. Kind of helps DPS things along. And we get to even beat the Hydra dude. Yeah. Another important thing is, I think Vanessa's pretty good for this meta because leveling up is still very good. Especially with the XP changes lately. Just generally speaking. And she can get, like, wanted posters, she can get star chart, she can get quite a few ways to just gobble up XP, extra XP, and it adds up. Somewhere I read in his patch notes, they said a Hexus turned on, or something weird like that. I assume that meant they made the fight harder. But no, I think they just added cryptos to it or something. No, she already had cryptos. I don't know. But it's not hard fighting at all. We pick up Bloodhound, which is probably one of Vanessa's best skills. Just generically good. It's under like the crit hidden tag for some reason. But yeah, giving all your items charge to seems good. Makes your board faster. Makes everything pretty good. As we take on Mark the Red, who's got an early railgun, and I will say this fight, check it out, 30% crit. See how many times it goes off. 1, 2, 3, and look at our HP. 236. If it crit at all, we were just dead. I would like to do like a little probability calculator for you guys too. Yeah, just real quick. I think of how probabilities work. I took this in high school. I wasn't the best at it, but I was one of the best in the class. But that doesn't say much. Anyways, probability of him critting there was like 65.7%. Someone correct my math if I'm wrong. But 30% chance to crit 3 times. Think it's this? I don't know. My teachers would be very upset. Anyways, meanwhile, commentary-wise, I missed. We picked up Card Table and double Zorcid, which each Zorcid is a haste trigger, and it's directly on the Catfish, which is great. And then Card Table's kind of nice to give, hopefully, Catfish multicast. That's what you want. But even giving a Zorcid or 2 multicast isn't bad, because it's more haste and more scaling. But we're just so strong to the point where we can take this hard fight without even like second chancing of, you know, whether we're gonna win or not, right? The guy only did like 100 points of damage to us before we won. So it's more XP. Slowly, if we can like snowball our XP just a little bit, it goes a long way. And we even get more XP from the Vile Blood. So everything so far is just going right. We're not even high rolling. Like, that's the crazy part. We're not even high rolling. We got a little lucky on some fights. Like the one we tied. In the second, we missed a 65% chance to lose. But again, correct me if I'm wrong down below. I could be lying to you. Check the comments. Everyone's super helpful. Especially when I misplay and stuff, everyone points it out, which I'm super grateful for. I try to learn from it and just, you know, make everyone a better gamer here. And if not, at least entertained. The bare minimum. But yeah, we're chilling. Oh my god, we're chilling. Going against Vanessa. Who's also has a Catfish and a Shrimp. With the Sea Dog Saloon. It's pretty strong. I don't know how, he got a Fiery Crab start, which our start's definitely better. Like, look at our Catfish compared to his. It's crazy, the difference. But his Mantis Shrimp was getting big, though. But, again, we have so much haste that the Trebuchet really did put in a lot of work. So, I gotta give props off to the Trebuchet. Did pretty decent here. But meanwhile... Again, racetrack, kind of like free upgrades. But we get a captain's wheel. Which I got to go back and forth as to which one's better. I think it's Captain's Wheel for right now. I don't actually remember if I run it or not. I think so, yeah. So we lose out on one haste trigger, but it's 2.5 seconds faster. But then I pick up the beach ball. And the Shark Ray. Very good. We got there. So now we no longer have a large item. Plus, Beach Ball Haste, 4 items, which is the same rate as in 2 items 2.5 seconds versus 4 items in 5 seconds, right? Same exact rate. But we can fit like another small item slot if we take out the trebuchet. And then now Beach Ball Haste everything on our board. And we have the star chart for cooldown. And cooldown's pretty good this patch. Pretty good. Now, if I were to go back in time, I probably would have just upgraded one of our items. Because we didn't get crazy skills here. 8% crit chance isn't bad though. Just pick it up. Sometimes it's really good. But, yeah, if I go back in time. But I generally just like the random skills anyways. Whatever. Is my philosophy is like, you can always find upgrades, but you can't always find skills. Not that you will always find upgrades, but you know what I'm saying? Take out a Loan Shark because we just have the better haste board than him. But yeah, now that we have card table as well, we're hoping the Shark Ray multicast. I can't really talk too well. I apologize. I've stated multiple times, a couple videos. It's been a long week, working stupid hours, but I'm glad to still be able to get a game out to you guys, even if I misplay here and there. We get pretty lucky though. I was talking about not getting lucky. We got a little lucky here. Go to Kev's Armory, get a free enchanted Shark Ray, which is very good sustain. Like amazing. So not only is it going to do a lot of damage, it's going to give us big shield, make us a little tankier, spankier. As at this point in the run, I'm mostly focused on just getting powerful outside of upgrading our items. So like chocolate bars gives us more and more HP, just survivability. And that's what we need. We get survivability. We have the damage, we have the poison, whatever, you know. And card table seems to just enjoy giving Zorcid multicast. Yeah, multicast 3. But it's not relevant here. Because multicast on the Shark Rays is so much better. Right? Imagine multicast 3 Shark Ray, that's 2400 damage on day 6. And shielding. Bonkers. Bonkers. We do have the star chart, so Docs is great. We get money, we get XP. Good. And now, any passive skills, great for us. Freeze triggers, like haste freeze, poison freeze, whatever is good. And this is our first time, and I mean the first time since they changed this fight, I felt confident going into the Radiant Corsair. They buffed this guy's kit insanely well. Katana does like 4 more burn. The Lighthouse does more burn. And everything else. So it's really refreshing to be able to beat this fight, you know, finally, after all this time. I will say it's been a hot minute. Yeah, nothing crazy here though. We get the Katana. Sure, like that's a cool item. We go straight to the transformation event. Check this out. Ready? Boom, we get a second star chart, which like, yeah, the burn on it's not great, but it's a gold tier star chart. That is 15% more cooldown, the 20% more cooldown reduction. And stacking cooldown reduction is very good, as I try to showcase here a little bit. Because it takes your base cooldown now, not wherever it's at, and gives it less. It's your base cooldown. So insect wing and items that give cooldown reduction in conjunction is like better this patch. Their values are a little lower, but in general they're better. Yeah, clearly the Shark Ray is going to be our carry going forward. It's like I'm debating whether to just give it double cooldown reduction, but ultimately I go card table. Give the beach ball the cooldown as well, because that's the most amount of haste triggers we can have. Repeatable 4 haste is just good. So yeah, one thing I did harp on, I think I harp on right here, is the what's the word for it? It's there's like the extremes. I think the extreme. There's definitely a better word, but the extremes. Let's go with that. Of like winning and losing this game. This Vanessa has 1 win, and she's on her final life. And then oftentimes you have boards like me or similar, which are just like pure win streaking. There's no balance of like people winning and losing. You know, you get a little bit stronger throughout the day. No. It's a snowball effect loss, snowball effect win. Unless, you know, you're playing in a particular way. Like how I play Pig. Usually you've seen my content. I'm usually weak early on to like be stronger late game. That's just how I like to play. But yeah, those extremes aren't the healthiest thing for the Bazaar in a nutshell, but I don't know. I'm no expert. But we get lucky again. Day 8 Diamond Tier encounters pretty lucky. We get a Diamond Tier Shark Ray. That is so much scaling. And again, if we beat Radiant Corsair, we're like, I don't know. I feel like Dragon's an easier fight than Radiant Corsair half the time. So, there's no shot we lose this. Yeah, Shark Ray multicasting though, that's 3,200 damage, by the way. Very good. I thought it'd be funny if we got Draconic Rage here, threw it on, scale up the star chart. But we already have really good enchants. Like, yeah, double damage on Shark Ray would be good. I went back and forth as to like what I should do. But ultimately, like, damage on card table's not great. I'm checking it out right now. What enchants? Look at this Momo go. Look at him go. Look at him go. He's hard at work down there looking at what enchant to do. And I'll be honest, our options aren't great here. One cool thing we do though is throw the enchant on Zorsid with the burning effect. Because then it charges itself, which is pretty cool. Makes the haste and everything go a little bit faster. That's kind of a big deal. Speeds up catfish scaling and everything else just by a little bit. But again, our enchants and everything are pretty good. We get Bloodhound upgrade. Yeah, amazing skill. Amazing skill. And in the meanwhile, our board from here on out is pretty set. Like, we could do really well just by doing what we're doing. So what do? We take more XP. Level 10.5 at the end of day 8 is pretty up there. We've probably gotten like close to 10, 11, 12 extra XP than we should. But yeah, this is what I want to highlight here. This item, Blank Slate. So as you can see, he's still on his quest to get other things, but Blank Slate is crazy. 5-second cooldown and has built-in charge. And there's so many relics this patch. So this item is nuts. It's normally freeze 3 items for 0.5 seconds, but because he has a Sapphire on board, it's just freeze 3 items for 1 second, which is a stupid powerful effect. I will just say it's really, really strong. And then it can get multicast and everything else eventually down the line. So this is what I'm talking about. You want to beat these builds early on. Otherwise, you're going to be hurting later. That's just how the nature of the game is for now. So, yeah, with the pendulum and stuff, you just go infinite and then freeze the board, win game. So yeah, it's nice we were able to base it now before he got the slow and everything else on it, and then like the correct items to make it really good. Ooh. And just like that, we're moving on to day 9, which is nutso. Just gobbling stuff up. You know, we have 45 gold, 46 gold as well. Got a crazy amount of money from these PV fights, that is. I mean, we're pretty happy with our board. This is a sick board. And unfortunately, this is the first time I take Pharaoh's Khan in a long while. Thankfully, this fight can't crit anymore. That's a huge thing. It's gonna do. He's gonna do. He, whatever. ZB. It's gonna do 3150 damage every time. Every time. No crit. No 30%. Oh, I guess I lose this fight. No. If you can survive the hit, you're fine. And we get the passive. Which, like, this is the first time I've gotten this passive, maybe ever. Maybe once. But yeah, its passive is a bit more, I think, more apparent this patch. Like I'm thinking about running double star chart here just to like lower its cooldown a lot, but yeah, I don't know if we need it. And then we take the scaling crit item name, which I cannot pronounce. Someone correct me down below. How do you say that? thnx. I can't say it. I learned how to say lethargy, but I'm not learning how to say that. Anyways, side tangent over. Yeah, we're not taking advantage of that Pharaoh's Khan passive. Don't need to. We have so much damage already. But what I do think about here is maybe going for more haste triggers themselves. Take the holster, take Mr. Richardson. All these items that care about haste, right? Which, yes, we miss out on multicasting, but half the time it's been hitting Zorsid, which isn't that good. So I'd rather have the big haste trigger right off the rip, right? Holster, boom, haste solar items. That's a ton of scaling. That enables an item go off faster. I mean, we're at Clamora. That enables rigged, right? Boom, another big haste. So we have two effects that haste all our items right off the rip. And then, like, from that alone, that's a ton of damage and a good amount of poison. Sweet. So every item on the board either benefits from haste or is a haste trigger itself. Let's check this out. Watch how fast this shark race scales up. Right off the rip, it's 820 damage. And then more haste triggers, it just goes up from there. And now we have scaling crit. Everything else is looking good. So easily take out this Nessa ammo enjoyer. And look at that, we're on the day 10. So this is, again, this is a very mid-range focused build. It can be strong like later on, but you're going to be facing so many unfair boards once you get past day 10. We got kind of lucky with a couple of these fights because it happens early and earlier. But I'd say like by day 7, day 6, day 7, you can start to inspect some unfair fights a lot sooner than you're used to. Just keep an eye out for that. The Lord of the Waste, they did change some items, which is pretty, I think it's mostly beneficial. They took out the sword. Not that anyone really used that too much, but you can get the diamond tier clockwork blades. Also his passive they changed too. Now you do double crit damage. Yeah, 4% cooldown reduction from a monster fight drop is pretty good. But we get the Matchless Fang. And so for the loot item, it's either take a loot item or take a gunpowder. And I took the loot item and still random a gunpowder anyways. That was pretty funny. Curio, we're looking for... There's some cooldown reduction, some good stuff, but... We only hit... I want to double check on this, just for our knowledge. Feather starts at silver tier, and insect wing also starts at silver tier. So, just correction for myself and everyone else. Curio has been getting worse and worse each patch, depending on your build. But for the most part, they've been taking like the good items out. So. You can no longer get insect wing or feather from Curio. It's only bronze tier junk items. So if you're looking for those, sorry. And yeah, moving on to the last fight, right? You guys already know. Taking on Hurricane K. Hurricane Katrina. Oh, this has been more like educational, hopefully talkative. Some people like this style. I like to mess around too. This one I really want to harp on what happened this build path. And this is like not your typical day 10 fight. Like this looks like a day 6 Mac board with the shielded candles. But yeah, we win. This is probably one of the weakest boards I faced like this entire match. Yeah, Momo's happy. We get the win. Yippee. But yeah, that's a perfect 10 win. I go into some stats after if you're curious. But if not, you know, that's how she looks. Yeah, this is my ninth perfect win. So let me know down below how many perfect win runs do you have? I feel like I have a lower than average, and that's mostly I think because I take the income start, so I just like have a higher chance of losing day 1 fight no matter what. That's just the nature of the beast. But I only have 9. So let me know what you guys are at down below. That's what I'm curious about. As you can see, this was my 9th. Let's see. And I go over some stats there. So if you're curious, anyways. Like, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you got this far. I appreciate each and every one of you. This was a fun one. Really an eye-opener as to what you should be looking out to do if you can. Thanks for watching.